δύο απόπειρες στασιασμού που προηγήθηκαν της εξέγερσης της 7ης Οκτωβρίου 1944 ήταν εκείνες του Ιουλίου και Σεπτεμβρίου του ιδίου έτους από δύο μόνιμους αξιωματικούς του ελληνικού στρατού που είχαν συλληφθεί μετά την επιστροφή τους από το αλβανικό μέτωπο. Ήσαν ο Ιωσήφ Βαρούχ που συνελήφθη στα Γιάννενα και ο Αλβέρτος Ερέρα από τη Λάρισα. Ο Ερέρα, τη στιγμή της απόπειρας, αν και πληγωμένος, κατάφερε να διαφύγει στο γειτονικό δάσος. Ο Ερέρα, τη στιγμή της απόπειρας, αν και πληγωμένος, κατάφερε να διαφύγει στο γειτονικό δάσος. Ο Ερέρα, τη στιγμή της απόπειρας, αν και πληγωμένος, κατάφερε να διαφύγει στο γειτονικό δάσος, μέχρι δυστυχώς να τον ανακαλύψουν τα σκυλιά των SS, που αφού τον βασάνισαν, δέρνοντάς τον ζωντανό,
In many cases, Hitler succeeded in wiping out total families. Fortunately for me, he did not succeed with me. I won, not him. My name is Nat Shafir. I am a Holocaust survivor. One of our neighbors was a priest, and this priest used to come by once a week to ask my father for a contribution to the church and some dairy products for some of the congregants who couldn't otherwise afford it. One day in November of 1942, the same priest came by, but this time he came with the police officers and two Iron Guard soldiers. And then pointing at us, and he said, "Esti Gidans, these are Jews." So we were turned over to the authority in November of 1942 by a priest, actually. We were escorted to the ghetto. We received one room for all five of us. They told us that from this point on, every person between the ages of 18 and 50 must do manual work. It didn't matter what profession the individuals had. We received rations, a quarter of a loaf of bread for every 2 days, and 5 liters of kerosene once a week. To receive these rations, we had to walk out from the ghetto to get them. We had to wear a yellow star with the word Zhidan or Jew on it. We had to be identified as Jews. Most of my immediate family was sent to Auschwitz-Birkenau. There were my grandparents, my uncles, my aunts and cousins. The young ones and the old ones were immediately put to death in the gas chambers. Those who were able to work were put in concentration camps and do slave labor. So 33 of immediate members of my family, only one survived. That was my uncle. We were liberated by the Russians in the spring of 1945. Hey, Benji. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay, good to see you. See you, Kira. Today I have a great family. I have 5 children and 12 grandchildren. All these children and grandchildren have their names after one of these people who were murdered by the Nazis. You talk about the people who were they named after. You talk about them, you know, what happened to me when I was this age. You always wonder, could these grandchildren do or go through what I went through when I was 9 years old? So all these questions are be asked constantly at the dinner table, at the Sabbath table. You're counting on these young people to tell their friends, here's what my grandfather did, here what happened to him, here how much he suffered. We make sure that they see something goes wrong somewhere to make sure that it's righted. It's important to me to teach younger children, to tell them what happened in the Holocaust, because time is against us. I'm 81 years old, and I'm one of the youngest Holocaust survivors. Most Holocaust survivors are in the 90s, 95. So I would say within a matter of 15 years, there will be no Holocaust survivors alive anymore. We have to work very, very hard to make sure that atrocities like the Nazis have committed do not happen again. It's very important that we do not remain silent. So constantly, whenever I have a chance to speak to young people, I always remind them, always speak out, because one voice can make a difference.